well, I guess it's that time of the year. A few nights of frost have just killed most of our flowers and our garden as well. But at least the fall colors are starting to emerge and everything is just looking so pretty now. An important reminder on backyard feeding. As you might know, most migratory birds migrate at night, and we're now in full fall migration. The only problem is that our artificial lights disorient birds. Some of the largest cities that have adopted the Lights Out program have seen a decrease in bird deaths because of this program. So for the next couple of weeks, if you can, please turn off all the exterior lights, close blinds and curtains inside from about 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. And if you have to use lights outside, please switch them to warmer colors. Try installing some kind of a shade over the light so it falls down and doesn't project upwards, or use lights with a timer. Rebecca Lauder wants to know if birds, or actually Carolina Wrens in particular, can fall asleep while sunbathing.
Hi Rebecca. You described a Carolina Wren perched on your trellis in some nice warm sunlight with its feathers fluffed out, its beak open, and its eyes closed for at least a minute. You initially thought that the bird was in some distress, but suddenly it straightened up, opened its eyes, and flew off in normal fashion. You asked me if wild birds occasionally fall asleep while perched in the sunlight. My guess is that the wren was not fully asleep, but instead taking a combination bird nap and sunbath with one eye open. We had Nana's hummingbird doing the same thing on a feeder the other day, but in the shade. When I approached it, it immediately flew off before I got too close, and then 5 minutes later, flew right back to the feeder to perch with its eyes seemingly closed. I would not rule out the possibility that either of our birds might have been recuperating from a collision from a window or something like that, but it all sounds quite normal to me. Birds have developed a fascinating adaptation called peaking that allows them to sleep in risky environments. This involves opening one eye intermittently and keeping half the brain active to monitor their surroundings. Peaking allows the animal to conserve energy while staying vigilant to potential threats. And a wee bird like a wren has plenty of enemies to worry about. Every fall, billions of birds migrate south to their wintering grounds, and in the spring, they do it all over again, heading north to breed. Some birds, like the bar-tailed godwit, fly non-stop from Alaska to New Zealand, a one-way trip of over 7,000 miles. But probably the biggest mystery in ornithology today is, how do they find their way? While it's widely agreed that birds do use information deduced from the position of the sun, the stars, and geographical landmarks, it's well accepted they also use the Earth's magnetic field. In other words, the movement of iron in our planet's core. But how birds detect that magnetic field remains the vexing question. Today, researchers are focusing on 3 possible ways that a magnetic sense could work. One idea involves a form of iron with magnetic properties, called magnetite. It acts as a sort of a compass within cells that rotates to align with the magnetic field. While magnetite has been found in varying amounts and locations in birds' bodies, they apparently can't detect the difference between the polarities of north and south. Another contender, known as the radical pair mechanism, hinges on a chemical reaction in a bird's eye that's influenced by the Earth's magnetic field. It involves a protein known as cytochrome, but the process needs light to work, and many birds migrate in the dark of night. A third hypothesis, first proposed in 1882, suggests that as a bird moves through the Earth's magnetic field, small currents are generated in the creature's inner ear. Testings are currently underway on scaled models of pigeons' inner ears placed in magnetic fields. But to date, no one has yet designed the so-called killer experiment to definitively come up with the answer. Is it magnetite? Is it the eyes? Is it the ears? Or even all 3? Stay tuned.
Australia is about to hit another milestone by removing all predators on French Island. The island, which is home to about 230 species of bird, including the beleaguered orange-bellied parrot, was overrun by feral cats which were decimating the local wildlife. As of now, about 1,000 cats have been removed from the island, and the birds have already started to flock back, especially shorebirds. Before that, the island was actually inhabited by the European red fox, which was even more dangerous to the local local wildlife. While all the foxes were removed a few years ago, you'll wonder why Australians are so obsessed about removing all the predators on the islands. Well, they're trying to create safe places for birds to flee to in case of another outbreak of a massive bushfire on the mainland. US Fish and Wildlife has just rejected a petition that wanted to remove federal protection of the western yellow-billed cuckoo. You see, the yellow-billed cuckoo is a very common bird, but recently its population has been declining drastically, especially in the west. The petition was submitted by the American Stewards for Liberty, which is a non-profit organization that fights for private property rights. The group stated that this bird had plenty of habitats and didn't really need to be protected anymore. But the issue is that the western yellow-billed cuckoo doesn't really have a fixed nesting habitat. It changes every year, always looking for places that have more favorable conditions to have a successful nest. And that makes it really difficult for scientists to track how well or badly the bird is doing. And this is why US Fish and Wildlife decided to be cautious and to continue protecting the bird. Hummingbirds, I haven't seen them in about 2 weeks. I still have the feeders up. I'm going to leave them up until the 1st of October, I think. So it was quite a treat to look at all these beautiful shots of hummingbirds in the summer. We had 121 photo submissions on Hummingbirds in Action photo contest. Now let's check out the top 5. Here's the 3rd place, the 2nd place, and the grand prize winner. Congratulations everyone, that was a really tough contest. Well, October is just around the corner and the photo contest is vultures. Again, don't forget to write the names of the birds. Time to say goodbye. Again, don't forget to turn off all the lights for the next couple of weeks. And if you participate in our photo contest, please don't forget to write the names of the birds that you submit. Take care everyone. I'll see you in 2 weeks.